Good morning, everybody, and this is your Dow Jones day trade setup for today. So let's just quickly get onto the weekly chart because that's quite important. So have a look at this weekly bar. We sort of closed on our low, and that's very rare. It doesn't always happen. It has happened this time. Have a look at the last time it happened in this zone. Buyers immediately stepped in. We're on a trend line as well, so we've got trend line support. We don't really have horizontal support at the moment. So, and we've got a bit of a gap up right now. We do have the Feds busy in their 3-day meeting, and obviously what they'll be doing is telling us exactly what they've been telling us for the last 2 meetings, but the market doesn't quite get it yet that they are reducing their balance sheet, sort of buying back a lot of the bonds and stocks that they bought, and or selling off. Sorry, not buying back, and at the same time looking at increasing interest rates 3 times this year. So they keep saying the same thing over and over again, and the market keeps acting confused. So who knows what's going to happen next? For me at the moment, we are pretty clearly in a very volatile downtrend at the moment, and that was most of last week. You can see down, up, down, up. We do have a little bit of structure to the left, which is roughly where we've sort of gapped up to, and that's 34442, and then the next bit of structure is just above us up there. So let's get down to the levels we want to trade. So 3 hour, you can see oscillators all in a mess, starting to group tightly at the moment with a crossover, but we have a weekly gap, and remember those weekly gaps more than often close, whether it closes today or next week or the week after or next year is irrelevant, but they typically do close, so you've got to be careful. If we move down to the hour, and this is where we need to pay our attention. So you can see clear downtrend. Look at the moving averages. We are bouncing off the moving averages pretty strongly. Moving down. We've got no diversions. We've got a grouping here. Doesn't necessarily mean we're going to be moving back the upside, but it does mean that we are looking for an area of resistance in order to bounce off. So at the moment, this is 260 points, 0.7% away from Friday's close. So fairly volatile. We've also got sort of diagonal trend line here as well, which we're very far from it. I'm not even going to bother with it at the moment. But this is the structure that I would be paying attention to, 34442. Each one of these tails obviously could offer minor support, and I'm just going to put this one in, or should I rather say resistance, so you can see what I mean. So these tails are very important. So wherever you see a fractal, you can see that is a level, and look at what was happening at that level. If I drop down to 15 minutes, you'll see a range at the level. So basically looking for a break of 34442. Stop would be above 34529. First target is going to be the gap close. That's 100-point risk to 183-point gain. The first target would be this gap close, and then we've got to pay attention to this weekly trend line here at 34200, because that could indicate, if that gives way, then we've got a lot more of a move to the downside brew. So that's kind of my view at the moment. We are in a downtrend on the hour, so you need to continue trading the downtrend. Problem that I really do have with the pair right now is that area there at 34980 is the actual area that I would prefer getting shorted. This little area here is going to be a bit of a gamble. So this is the higher probability trading off the structure here, but that is very far away, and it would also break the high of Friday, so that would start giving you a potential for a reversal. So at the moment, pay very close attention to it. Get down to the 50-minute chart, and bear in mind that you have the Fed's meeting at the moment. So for the next 3 days, you could just go rain sideways or be very quiet. So just keep that in the back of your mind. So for me at the moment, sort of sit and wait, possibly looking at this on the 50 minutes. This gap is fairly juicy. So if we start breaking and retesting this area, 34,442, definitely worth a punt short. Your stop is going to be above the current high, so just risk as little as possible. That's all I'll say. For me, probably go down to a third of my normal position and risk that rather than risk a full position, waiting for a revisit of this trend line. Don't anticipate the break of the trend line. I wouldn't do that, not just yet. Okay, if this doesn't materialize and we start breaking through the structure, then I'm set on hands until we break above the high of Friday, because that would indicate a potential sort of B right there. So that would indicate a double bottom, which would bring us back up to the 155 moving average at 35,347. So that's kind of the structure that I see at the moment. Okay, so anyway, that's my view this morning. Very cautious and small position size for the short, and also not anticipating a long just yet. So not until we get above the high of Friday, then we start looking for reversals. But at the moment, trend is down. We should be trading with a trend. So we're looking for another retest of this 34,200 area. Hope it helps, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow morning. Cheers for now.